Welcome back to Fire Force Anime Review, episode number 13. This review the seventh episode of the anime, the Black, White, and Gray, and the 196th chapter of the manga, Moonlight Rescue. This episode is pretty much adapted mostly from chapters 59 to 62, and adapting the first two pages of chapter 63. Now, here's kind of the strange thing about this particular chapter. Now, this episode 60 and 61, they fully adapt those. Not much changes there. They do cut some stuff from 60. They actually cut out the first few pages for some reason. I don't know why. The episode starts off with Shira already tied up on a gurney. Captain Himura apparently off screen took out the two White Clan goons. The White Clan soldiers off screen for some reason. Yeah, I'm not sure what they cut this for. And of course, he talks to her for a bit. He basically has also got a gag on his mouth, which is something that was not there in the manga. I'm like, what the heck was this? Moves in, he's like, ow. He's like, owie. Yeah, he has a little mark like anime would have, basically, if they have tape over their mouth. And he gets out. Now he runs out to Vulcan's junkyard and workshop. This is another change they made, where in the manga, he was actually running with a shirt on. In the anime, he's running completely shirtless, only wearing a pair of shorts. Yep. Runs, take out the two guys. He basically goes past, Dragon pretty easily. The guy will make illusions. He briefly takes him out. And he beats up freaking Captain Giovanni from Squad 3. Beats him up for a little while. Now, this full fight they have here is actually pretty accurate to the manga. There is also another change when Captain Habara shows up. Now, in the manga, they actually don't show this at all. In the anime, they actually show her having her tree, which was last seen back her fight with She-Ra back in, I believe it was the second series. Yeah, back in the second arc back, I think it was in episode 6, I think it was the last time this thing showed up. And she tries to suffocate the two members, and she also suffocates Arthur's like, yeah, she has the whole thing of, where I'll kill anybody who's not my She-Ra. Yeah, that's simply just of her. Oh yeah, and also, the episode also had a little different style opening. Yeah, and of course they had the opening a little bit later. They also have a slightly different opening titles, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, it was pretty quick, and it was actually shorter than usual. Basically the sort of the narration basically used. This is the third one they use where it's very brief. It's like a theater, with the rise, the Tokyo Empire, stuff like that. Oh yeah, and the whole thing with Giovanni, he just basically whack at this one device, and apparently it has the key to Akamatsu, which I don't think this is actually completely original opening. From what I could tell, I didn't see this in the manga. Yep, and of course Irish is basically a whole thing of her, pressing a whole bunch of buttons to shoot a bunch of robot animals. Yeah, that's all true from the manga. Though I think the only slight change they made is they have Vulcan basically just telling her to press the buttons, basically, so that now Lisa has this new ability where it's similar to Maki's ability, where she can create fire, the whole thing of magnetic force, and it's a little more shown in detail in the anime than it is in the manga. This change I didn't mind at all. Yep. And it's nearly strangling She-Ra. Lucky enough, the thing frees him, and basically he kicks Giovanni outside, though they run into She-Ra. Now, Shiro, Shao, She-Ra's little brother. Now, this line of dialogue is actually completely different in the manga than it was in the manga. Here, he's actually he looks at him, and of course, the line he says to him when he first sees him is "Are you the one who activated my Dola burst?" That line is directly from the manga. The only slight change to make here is She-Ra's reaction to see him. Here, he's very happy to see him. He says, "Anything you do, basically, I'm always on your side." And manga says, "I'm your ally," but it's a slight change. And of course, he basically hits him in the gut. Then Arthur shows up. He gets sliced in the chest. Now, here's something that I thought was really kind of stupid for the anime too. They got Commander Hybera's basically her attack by Shao. Shao attacked her in the manga too because and here's the thing when the whole robot animal show. She got bopped in the head, and then she was not seen again for quite a while until a little bit later, not for about 10 minutes. Well, in the manga, she actually got up and actually tried to take on Shao. Now she got sliced in the, she got a little bit sliced in the belly, but that's all you saw of her. And then next time we saw her, she just is picked up by, I'm trying to remember what was the scientist's name who helped him out here. Well, Victor. Yeah, Victor helped out in this truck. And they actually cut out the moment where she's picked up. I'm not sure why they did it for. It's like, oh yeah, when he goes pick up Arthur and Shira, Captain Hebra is already in the truck. I'm like, when the heck did that happen? Yeah, it's like they're missing some stuff here. I'm not sure why they cut it out for. It's kind of like a lot of stuff that was from Chapter 60 to feature Captain Hybra is completely cut out right after the whole bop in the head from a freaking robot head. I mean, it seems so stupid. It's like you bring in this awesome character in and then you just don't do anything with her the whole episode. What the heck is your problem, David? Yeah, I don't know what the problem was with this. And then they cut out, they do another cut where they actually show like the whole group, including Lisa. Now, when they all get away, Lisa is actually next to Giovanni near the gate. Just, well, the whole thing of her reaching out for Vulcan, and of course Giovanni shows up. In the manga, it just, well, them, like, Dragon, the Illusion Guy, Shao, Lisa, and Giovanni also next to her. Yeah, this panel is not even, you don't see this in the anime at all. And then they go straight to the hospital. And now there's a couple other changes here. One, I don't mind this change at all, though they do kind of this conversation. They have it where Shira and Vulcan do have a conversation. Now, part of this conversation is done while they're standing, and then he's sitting down. In the anime, the whole conversation is done while they're sitting on the bench, waiting for his apprentice to recover out of surgery. Yeah, this change is perfectly fine. I have no problem with this at all, because there's a lot of dialogue to read here, and in the anime, it's pretty much cut down tremendously, which I do appreciate them doing that. And, well, he's offering him a guest, and eventually if he says he either wants to join, and the whole thing about him helping him out, that's all true here. And in the case of Captain Habara and Victor, well, the conversation is exactly the same. All they did was change a slight location. Yeah, the only change they made here is that he's sitting near a soda machine. Yep, a soda machine. Oh yeah, and also there's another slight change here. When they have Shira call up the captain, he calls on the phone, but they actually have a little portal thing who sees what Vulcan's up to. Yeah, I'm not sure. Now that I don't mind them cutting out, and the change they made where Victor's can get a soda, which that's all anime original. That's not from the manga. That's complete. That actually makes a lot more sense because, yeah, why would two people just be walking a hallway and we're not getting a soda? That's typical. You see both in anime. You know, if you're in a hospital, like you probably need something to drink. We'll have a conversation. You go to a vending machine. It's perfectly natural. Yes, and I do appreciate the anime added in. I've seen this in a few different anime. Heck, even live action shows basically how we have characters going to a vending machine. It's perfectly natural for people to do this. Yeah, they're thirsty. They need something to drink. Go to the vending machine. Oh yeah, and what did they get out? A Coca-Cola. Somehow the soda is still being made, despite the fact that part of the plane was burned to a crisp. Yep. And then they have it where, like, Vulcan goes back to visit his workshop. This is a little bit from like chapter 62, I think it is. Yeah, there's a lot of sections they actually cut out for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Like, if you look at compared to how it is in the anime compared to the manga, they cut like a lot of 62 for some reason. I'm not sure why, but they did. It's like they heavily altered it for the anime. It's particularly very weird. Yeah, he just basically gives like a drink to his parents. He joins up with the Fire Force. The episode ends quite interestingly with you have Tabaki and Shira. This is actually a post-credit scene where this is actually from the opening of chapter 63, where they're going to clean the outside of the firehouse. And then they see there's a skull out there, and in the manga, that's that portion of the thing ends when they see it. Like, the whole portion that comes after this is all complete anime original. Where, and also Vulcan wears a different shirt than he wears in the manga. In the manga, he's wearing his black shirt with a bear claw, with a bear paw on it. In the anime, he's still wearing the animal shirt. Yeah, I kind of get the reason why they changed this shirt because, well, I think just to maintain consistency because it'd be kind of awkward for him just to automatically just change shirts for some reason. And have the whole group see the thing outside. Yeah, this is actually from what I can tell. I don't think it's from the actual chapter itself. Let me look it up on here. Yeah, but when I looked at it, I think it was just the open 2 pages of the chapter. This whole post credit sequence. Oh yeah, the captain was there, but they actually added with a group was outside. Yeah, here it is here's Vulcan with a paw print. They also have a slight change to the background here. Yeah. Where he's standing, he's in a little different spot, but yeah, this is what he looked like when he's doing the manga. Yeah, he was wearing the black T-shirt and the paw print. In the anime, he's wearing the animal shirt. Probably just maintaining consistency. Yeah, yeah, it's all rock and roll. The episode itself is still pretty good. I didn't like some of the change. I think some of the changes they made. I would say all but a couple that were completely necessary. Oh yeah, and also Joker popped up in the episode. Yes, his fight with Shao is still there, except they made a couple changes to it. One when he first showed up, actually about 3 changes to it. Yeah, when he first showed up, he showed up with a little Ash. In the manga, he showed up as a little goo form. Fights him briefly. Now, they do have a visual change here. They actually fight near a bunch of cars. Because they're in a junkyard, they're surrounded by junk cars. In the manga, it's just basically some fence line, which probably, I think the reason why they changed is just a little more thematic value. They fight for a while, and then of course they don't show the people getting away. You see him say "Oh yeah, I can hear him get away," and of course that kid's a monster. Now here's another change they made in the manga. It's he says that kid's a monster. Nothing happens to his bandana he wears on his head. In the anime, they actually have a slight change here, where apparently he actually sliced part of the bandana he wears on his head and got part of it off. Yep. And there's another slight change where Tabaki is informing everybody about dinner. Now in the manga, they actually show her just sort of have a conversation about walking. It just is brief thing, you don't see their faces. This change is fine as long as it's still the same scene. Yeah, though there's something hilarious that happens in the next in chapter 63, which I can't wait to see in the anime, which should be freaking hilarious. I won't reveal what it is, but we'll find out next week. But the episode that was good. I would say the only changes I kind of felt this was completely necessary was pretty much almost kind of hybrid almost most of the entire episodes. One change I didn't like, and another change I thought was completely unnecessary was the whole stuff that group shot. That was a really good group shot. They could have kept in the anime. For some reason, we had to have Lisa and Giovanni. It's particularly a little weird. Yeah. Now move on to the newest chapter in the manga, Moonlight Rescue. Chapter starts up right where last week's chapter left off, where you see the captain of Squad 7 basically just shows up in his Moonlight mask, brings his broomsticks, takes down, fights a lot of the White Clad members, the white soldiers, white clad soldiers, takes a lot of them out, and of course Lieutenant's like, Captain Shannon, grab the match quickly. The match quickly. Well, when it comes after him, he blocks it, and he creates a giant, almost like a giant hole in the sky. And of course, Captain Owataki basically blocks a bunch of cars from Joker. And he asks, Shira, where's Captain Barnes? A demon appeared, Captain Barnes dealt with him. I couldn't protect him, although I said, leave it to me. And of course, the captain carries Shira, across his field. And you see Tabaki running up, right on the. He's like, I feel like a real witch. yeah, she rides a lot like she's reading one of the Captain Sharon's his sticks he used when he back at his debut when he took out an Inferno. Yeah, It's so fun to actually act like a freaking witch. Too bad Maki's not here. Yeah, I can tell this is Tabaki by looking at her. It, yeah, it's Tabaki because Maki's nowhere seen. Of course, you have her standing on top of the thing, this antenna. Dragon looks up, basically just slices right at him. So yeah, the blindfold guy, I don't remember his name. Dragon attacks, kept the chin on. Slice at him. Does Moonlight attack. And he grabs the boomstick and basically flies away. And then chapter ends with like, in addition to Amaros and myself shouting, the appeals going place is getting complete. Now proceed to the final phase. Today, the stars burn out is upon us. The guardian of the empire has fallen. The world is pledged to destruction. Okay, so apparently we're gonna see next chapter. Next chapter is called Farewell. So the whole thing with the captain, with the whole thing of the evangelist plan, it looks like it's coming forward. It kind of looks like with this chapter, it looks like kind of the end of this particular arc. It's possible, yes. This arc has been going on officially for about 22 chapters. It's officially the second longest arc of the entire series. Yes. It's a good chapter as a whole. It definitely feels like a conclusion for the most part for this particular chapter. Yeah, it feels like a conclusion to this very arc. And I'm going to give this chapter for like a 9 out of 10. It's a great chapter. I like the fact the Captain of the Company 7 showed up. That was something. At least it wasn't a shocking cliffhanger. And it was interesting that Joker showed up here too. It's kind of like, okay, Joker showed up in the anime, so have him show up in the manga as well. Okay, fine. Even like in the manga, his appearance comes completely out of nowhere. Yeah. But it's still quite entertaining nonetheless, okay? And in the case of when was the last time that Joker showed up in the series, I think it's only about it's been about a few episodes since he last showed up. He hasn't made that many appearances in the series. The guy is known for his reputation to be a serial killer. And yet he's one of the most interesting characters in this whole series. Yeah. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. I have one more review I'm going to do, and that's a review of the first film of Phase 3 of the MCU, okay? Do you see you next review? Bye.